I'm being forcibly removed from the building again of a public lobby, so.
Sir, please, is there anything I can do, sir, please? Don't do this to my wife, man. You don't know what you're doing to my family, man. Please, I'm begging you. I'm literally where am I going to put my feet? Sir, I'm begging you, please. 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 I didn't break the law. I'm not going to be found guilty of anything. This is a waste of time. If you guys want to know who I am, I'll tell you who I am. Okay. You want to know what I'm doing here? I'll tell you what I'm doing here. Please, sir, please don't make me sleep in jail tonight, sir, please. I'm begging.
We're not criminals.
They're going to make me sleep in jail.
Why?
Sir, please. Please.
Dude, please.
Sir, please.
Oh my God,
man.
don't do that to him.
You guys don't know what you're doing to me, man.
Why?
Today's video takes us to Bellevue, Washington, to the state trooper's office there, where Glenn Serio is seeking to file a complaint against one of the troopers. Now, this video is 2 years old. I never uploaded it because it's an hour and 15 minutes, but I've decided to break it down into manageable segments. So sit back, watch, and enjoy!
He didn't seem to have any regard for it.
Actually, he did, because he stopped you for holding your cell phone in your hand, and that's a violation, and there's a lot of fatal crashes caused by...
Oh, so you know about it?
Oh, of course I do.
You know about it now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now you know about it, but before you didn't care. You were saying...
No, I didn't say I didn't care.
Okay.
I never said that, and don't put words into my mouth.
Well...
Okay? I said if you want to file a criminal complaint, you need to do so where it happened in the jurisdiction.
So you're protecting your buddy?
No, I'm telling you how it is with the law. I'm not protecting anybody.
You're his superior. You're supposed to oversee his actions.
Right.
If he's committing a crime,
Right.
you would be the one to investigate it.
Wrong.
Wrong.
You are wrong.
How is that?
Because it has to be investigated in the jurisdiction where it was committed. I've told you that probably 5 times now.
What?
I don't understand why you don't understand.
Because if I work in Redmond,
Is there something wrong with you?
what would be wrong with me?
Yes, Lieutenant, there's something wrong with him. He walked away from his mental health bed several days ago, and the authorities have been looking for him ever since. Can you please call the Bellevue Mental Health Institute and tell them that you have found him? Oh, please do us all a favor, officer.
No, I'm speaking perfect.
What do you think's wrong with me?
That you have to file the criminal complaint in the jurisdiction where it happened. So if it happened in Snohomish County, you have to go to talk to Snohomish County Sheriff's Office.
So in other words, you don't care what your officers are doing.
No,
they can break the law anytime they want.
You're trying to put words in my mouth, and I'm not going to allow it.
You're sending me off when you can take a report right here.
No, I am not sending you off. You told me directly. Did you not tell me that you wanted to file a criminal complaint?
I do.
Okay. So I'm explaining to you how you do that. So you don't just go wherever you want to file a criminal complaint. Within the state of Washington, all the law enforcement agencies have jurisdictions where they are primarily responsible for, okay? You have to go to that primary law enforcement agency first with a criminal complaint.
What primary law enforcement agency?
Well, you said it happened in Snohomish County.
Right?
So that would be, I would start with Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. If it happened in a city in Snohomish County, then it would go to that city.
So you're telling me the sheriffs would investigate him?
That makes sense to me, Glenn. The agency can't investigate itself, so they're going to have an impartial agency investigate your so-called, what was it, ripping you out of the car? Who could rip something like that out of the car? Man, you need a forklift, maybe a front end loader. Oh man, look at that.
Yes, we do it all the time. Other agencies, because if I investigate my own people, you'll say I'm being biased and showing favoritism. So we have outside agencies investigate our officers, so it eliminates that bias.
So, I mean, it sounds like you're fully aware of the situation. You don't even know my name, but you knew right away, like, I had the cell phone violation. You knew all about it.
Yeah.
So you were prepared for this. You rehearsed it upstairs?
No, I'm just telling you exactly.
Well, I mean, what gave you the conclusion that I was the cell phone guy?
Because
I could be one of a dozen things he's done.
You told me the trooper, and you told me the person he was training, and I'm aware of that situation.
Okay, so and they reported it to you, and
No,
Well, you're saying you're aware of it.
Yes.
What does that mean you're aware of it?
I'm aware of it.
They told you about it? What?
No, they didn't tell me about it.
What led you to be aware of it?
Well, big boy, you're the only one that complains about anything. Out of all the hundreds of people that the troopers pull over, you're the only one that complains. So they knew it was you. By the way, how did you fit in that small car? That's an Echo. Man, you weigh about as much as that car does, don't you, Glenn? I wonder if Glenn's still living in his car today. Of course, he doesn't have that same car, but I wonder what he's doing. Doesn't everybody wonder what he's doing? I do.
The YouTube video you posted online, and then the department became aware of that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So what now?
what does that mean? What now?
What do you want to do now, or what can I help you with now?
I mean, I'll go do what you say. I will go down there and I will file this criminal complaint. But he is not going to get away with threatening people's lives on the side of the road. If he was to grab me and attack me, I would fight for my life.
Right. So
I would.
Let me ask you a question. So when you say things like you hope that Trooper Armstrong's into watch day or he gets run over, is that a threat?
I didn't say that.
It's on your video?
No, I didn't say that.
Or it's in your comment?
That's not what I said.
Oh, well, it's something to that regard,
No.
right?
You mean someone made a comment on my page?
I don't know.
That has nothing to do with me.
I don't know. I'm just saying, what's the difference?
The difference is I'm on the side of the road. It's an icy day out. It's if he's claiming I'm on my cell phone, which they made a claim that I wasn't texting or anything, he said I was holding it.
Right, which you still can't do under the law, by the way.
Well, I'd like to see that law, but
In most states, Glenn, you're not allowed to even hold the phone. Doesn't matter if you're making a call or texting. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You cannot hold the phone while you are driving. That's why it's called hands-free. I'm sure you've heard of that, Glenn. So if you're trying to navigate, yeah, get one of those little holders and put it on the dashboard. Yeah, of course you're too stupid to do all that, aren't you, Glenn?
A few minutes later.
okay. So I have to make a complaint with the Snohomish County Sheriff's Department, correct?
If you want to. I don't know where this happened. I'm just going off the information.
Well, according to the paperwork off of 145th, which is incorrect because it was actually 41st. So,
41st and I-5?
well, 41st in Evergreen. So I don't know. Yeah. So
I'm confused. So, I mean, I don't know where it happened at. I'm just going based off the information that you...
right, but he wrote on the paper 145th. It's not 145th. It's 41st Street. So the paperwork's incorrect. And I'm not 5'1". I'm 5'9".
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that would be an issue to address in court. You can always request a contested hearing.
Well, usually clerical errors, they would throw it out.
No.
No?
Actually, no.
So you can make any errors, you can do whatever you want, and it's legal.
Always, it's up to the judge. I don't make those decisions.
Okay, well.
Glenn claims to be 5'9", and he's tipping the scales over 350. I guarantee you that much. Of course, these days he may have lost some weight, unless he's moved to a state with very generous welfare benefits. Hey, you know, if you're hungry, you're hungry. I don't deny anybody some food, but he doesn't eat all that much food, does he? Well, just looking at him, I would say no.
Why you are allowed to do a contested hearing and explain that to the judge.
Do you feel that Officer Tenzin Trang is being properly trained by Joseph Armstrong?
Yes, I do.
You do?
No, I don't feel. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even though the paperwork's incorrect?
That's part of the training process.
Wouldn't he oversee that?
Possibly.
Wouldn't you oversee it and make sure the corrections are made before it's submitted?
Not necessarily.
No? Okay.
I'm human. I make mistakes all the
So
time.
if Boeing's going to release a new airplane, they don't make sure the paperwork's correct before they send off that airplane to, like, you know, an airline?
I don't know.
And then it crashes and then, you know?
I don't know. That's a little different situation. Right?
It's safety concern, right?
No.
No?
No, because a minor paperwork error is not a safety concern all the time.
Sure it is. It's,
Is that,
well, I mean, you're mislabeling stuff. You're misrepresenting.
and how does that result in someone's injury or life
I mean, they could
situation?
mistake.
Don't extrapolate it to an extreme situation like we've seen on the news with the 737 MAX with Boeing. You're taking a minor error on a ticket in a benign situation that does not affect anybody's safety or life, and you extrapolated it all the way to an error in production of a aircraft that carries 200 people. So that's quite a leap, isn't it?
Not really, because there's a paperwork trail for everything, right?
What is this blubbering buffoon of a bird brain babbling about now? Look at him. He can't even find clothes to fit. His stomach sticks over everything. Oh, there's a paperwork trail, all right. You know, the one paperwork trail we really don't like is that one where you were born. Ooh-wee.
The IRS has paperwork. I mean, when you make a mistake with paperwork with the IRS, what happens?
You might
Audited. You might get audited.
And how does that result in your death or injury?
Well, I mean,
How does that result in your death or injury?
well, it doesn't have to result in death or injury. It could result in, misrepresent. You could be, you could be like,
Just going off the example you provided.
right. So, I mean, if they mistake me for someone else because you put the wrong height, the wrong, maybe that person has a warrant. I don't know, Maybe he might shoot me,
Why would he shoot you?
Well, usually, it looked like he was ready to draw his weapon, so.
I'm always ready to draw my weapon.
Are you?
Yes.
Especially
on a traffic stop.
Unarmed civilians?
How do I know they're unarmed?
Do I look like I'm
I
armed?
don't know. I don't have X-ray vision. I can't see in
Okay.
your back.
So I can conceal guns in my
I
underwear.
don't know. You have a very large thing in your pocket there.
I have an arsenal in my underwear.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Nunchucks and, swords and.
I have no idea. And it's kept me alive this long to go
Okay.
with that mindset.
So you think everyone in the public's dangerous?
Do I think so? No, I don't think so.
Okay, because it seems like you're worried for your life more than you're worried about the public's life, right?
Now, Glenn wants to talk about concealing weapons in his underwear. I'm not sure if he can find his underwear under all those rolls of fat. I mean, look at it. Look at this side view. Come on, Glenn. I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, I better not say that. That would violate the YouTube guidelines. Yeah, I'll just let that go.
I am worried about my life first and foremost.
Okay, because the public's super dangerous, right?
I think that's a pretty obvious answer to that question, right?
Not really. I mean, I don't really see,
What?
everyone's not a gangbanger. Everyone's not gonna,
I agree.
so I mean,
I agree with you 100%.
right, but the way these traffic stops are being conducted is almost like Nazi. The way you guys conduct it, and the way you surround the vehicle and you act like.
How do we surround the vehicle when there's only one trooper in the car usually?
Well, there was.
I can't surround a car when I'm by myself, can I?
You call for backup. You're never alone. You're never alone.
Oh, we are all the time.
No, every time I've been pulled over, there's another.
So you've been pulled over a lot?
What does that mean?
I don't know. You said every time I've been pulled over.
Well, I mean, this state is, they like to ticket people. That's the revenue process here.
It's not our revenue. You know where our money goes?
Where's it go?
Well, Glenn, it's fairly easy to explain. You're on a police watch list everywhere in the state of Washington. So naturally, when they pull your car over and they run the plates, they're going to call for backup. Say, oh, we got Cop Hater out here. Yeah, Glenn, that's the way you wanted it. Is that why you left Washington State? I heard you moved to Oregon or Ohio. I can't confirm either one. Now, Oregon would make more sense, and it's right next door to Washington State. Is that where you live now, Oregon?
It doesn't come to the agency. It goes to the district court, Department of Licensing, and trauma funds.
Okay, and who pays the court and who pays the troopers?
Well, the troopers, we get paid from your license tabs. There's a highway traffic safety account. And
So the taxpayers pay that, right?
correct. They do.
So
because we're providing a public service.
Right.
If you understand how it works here in the United States, you pay taxes and then the government provides services. Do you understand that?
Of course,
Okay. Well, that's how that works.
right.
And
But
what's the problem?
the problem is I'm genuinely concerned about this officer's behavior, and it doesn't sound
I
like.
totally understand, but you've talked about a lot of other topics other than that.
Right, but this is the concern, right?
Okay.
Talking
So
about.
let's stay focused on that and not talk about fines or minor.
Well, you asked me if I was pulled over more, right? You've asked the questions, I've answered you. So
Every time you get pulled over.
I've responded to your questions.
Pulled over a lot.
So if we're off topic, it's because you've derailed the topic, right?
Okay.
So
So what do you want to talk about now?
The officer, Joseph Armstrong.
Okay.
He is extremely dangerous.
Let's take a listen to what this dangerous cop said to trigger GlennDuh. Roll that clip.
If you don't, we will pull you out and you will be placed under arrest for failure to identify no fault without ID.
So you're detaining me.
It's a criminal. It's a stop. Yes.
I am being detained right
You
now.
are stopped right now. Yes, sir.
Can I get your sergeant out here immediately?
Okay.
Immediately.
That was it. That's the extent of his interaction with Trooper Armstrong. Trooper Armstrong never said he was going to rip him out of the car. He never said that. But Glenn is always triggered. Let's carry on.
He wants to bash your window in, pull you out of the car, and arrest you. That's what he wants.
So if he wants that, and you're going off of that observation or your interpretation of his actions like that, how many times do you think he's done that in the last couple of years?
You know, honestly, I would think he's done it at least a good 5 times.
Yeah. You know how many times he has?
How many?
0.
In the last year? Or?
Last 2 years.
Okay. How long has he been on the force?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 5, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about in the 5 or 6 years?
None.
None. Okay. Why does he think...
So where's the foundation of your argument that he's going to break your window and pull you out?
So usually when someone's sticking their head in your window and they're spitting, their water's just flying out of their mouth and their eyes are bulging out of their head, and his face is turning all red, it shows a sign of anger, right? The guy's, he's in some type of heated moment where he's in a rage, right?
Okay.
Oh, you mean the way you get, Glenn, when you walk up and challenge cops to mutual combat? Look at the size of that head. And what's wrong with that haircut? Man, oh, look at this. I'm telling you, I do miss you, Glenn. You have no idea how much I miss you. You were a gold mine for so many channels. I hope you reappear someday. It's possible, though, you may get some common sense, but then again, probably not.
So if he's in some type of rage and maybe he's got personal problems, maybe his wife left him, maybe he beats his wife, maybe he kicks his dog, I don't know what it is, but there's something bothering him, right? And it's not me.
Okay.
So a minor cell phone violation to keep threatening to rip me out of the vehicle, when I tell him I'll give it, I didn't refuse. I did not refuse to identify. I only said I would give it to his sergeant. He says, if I can't get a sergeant here, I'm telling you what I'm gonna have to do. I'm telling you what I'm gonna have to do. And that's incorrect. He doesn't have to rip people out of the car.
He didn't. I don't know if he said that or not. I don't know, but here's the thing. If I was in that situation and I stopped you, here's how I would have handled it. If you would have refused to give your license to me, I would have said, you're under arrest for failing to comply. And then if you would have continued to resist arrest and not get out of your car, you would have been charged with additional charges of resisting arrest.
So you do realize that I was free to leave when I stepped out of my vehicle.
I remember you saying that, Glenn. You said, am I detained or am I free to go? And the cop says you're free to go. And then you said, if I'm free to go, I'm free to stay. I'm not going to look that part up on the video, but that's what you said, Glenn. And you were just waiting for the right moment so you could sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. You would be a dangerous guy if you could sweep somebody's leg, because then all you'd have to do is fall on them.
I was free to leave. Yes, I was. She said I was free to leave.
Well, I haven't watched the video, so I don't know what happened, and I don't know what...
And if you would have made a threat, or if you would have made a...
I'm just telling you, I've experienced this before, and I'm telling you what I have done. I'm not talking about Trooper Armstrong. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about me and what I would do.
Right, but
okay?
you understand that...
No, I'm talking now. Here's the other thing to think about. The characteristics that you were described about Trooper Armstrong when he's talking to you at the side of the window, I actually applaud his professionalism and restraint. If he was that heated and he was that emotional, I actually applaud his restraint.
Really?
He remained professional.
You applaud him, huh?
Well, yeah, because let me ask you this: did you get yarded out of the car through the and break your window like you're talking about?
So the only reason he didn't.
Did you?
What's that?
Did you?
Say again.
Did your window get broken and you pulled out of the car?
No.
Thank you. So he showed great restraint.
Do you know why?
I don't know why. I didn't watch.
Because Sergeant Mosley de-escalated the situation.
Okay.
Well, folks, I'm going to have to end it there for today because 20 minutes is about all I can stomach at Glenn Serio. But be sure to stop by because on subsequent uploads, I'm going to have the lieutenant ask Glenn what he does for his community. And Glenn's going to be hard-pressed. Woo, yeah, because the lieutenant reels off a number of things he does for the community, and Glenn can't get one out. But at any rate, if you enjoy watching idiots, imbeciles, and morons on my channel, please subscribe. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Cheers to that.